Second Cup, sponsored by Public Espresso and Coffee.
Good morning, Cuppies. Happy Friday, Junior. We're over the hump. It's been a gloomy week, obviously a rough week. We know what happened over the weekend, but we're pushing right ahead, right? We're zooming ahead.
It's warming up. It's getting that's the crazy part. I'm saying it's warming up and it's getting to the 40s, the 32. But that's what's wild. I know I'm really getting acclimated with here. When I'm like walking outside, I'm like, oh, 37? This feels great. I'm loving this right now. So I'll take this compared to what we were just dealing with when I was standing outside and it was 6 degrees.
Yeah. Totally a turnaround from two back-to-back lake effect storms. Ed and Katie are off today, so that's why Adam and I are hanging out with you Cuppies here this morning. Ed is away, Katie's on vacation, so we get to hang out with you guys, and it'll be the same thing hanging out for tomorrow. So make sure you're hanging out with the fill-in crew here, but we always have a good time, huh?
We always do have a good time. Yeah, a little bit of younger crowd. We be bringing some new spice to it. Yeah.
In the cut with my twin. Good morning to all the Cuppies. Let's say good morning to everybody who's here. Peter says happy TGIF Eve. Louise always here with the compliments. Always a good friend. Felicia, good morning. Lori, good morning. Julie, good morning. To all the Cuppies crew. Linda from Branch, good morning. Bonnie's here from North Branch, Michigan. Charlene says good morning. Chastity, good morning to you. Linda's always sending the love. Barbara says good morning. From Hutchinson Island, Florida, where I'm sure it's actually warm and not 37 degrees.
I know she's thriving down there.
I can only imagine. Sarah, good morning to you. Naomi, good morning. Edward, good morning. We got the crew all here. So glad we got the typing going and we're interacting with everyone. Also, good morning to everyone who's joining us on the gram. You know, we're on Instagram.
Oh, yeah. I got to check that out, too.
So, yeah, feel free to comment on Instagram. Let us know what you're thinking about today. Here's what we want to talk about. We want to talk about names, specifically baby names. I know it's a popular topic about, what's coming in and out of fashion. And we were talking earlier about how we got our names. How did you get your name? How did your parents name you? How did you name your kids or your grandkids? Let us know if you have any fun stories. But there are some names that are going out of style, which...
Let's hear them.
Some of them are shocking to me. So for girls... We're talking Amanda.
Okay.
Which, I feel like I know a lot of Amandas.
I don't know that many.
I used to growing up, so maybe, I'm getting old. I don't know. Amanda, I feel like is popular. Blake, which is, I feel like it was a popular girl name, like Blake Lively.
I thought of that as a boy's name immediately.
No, these are girls' names. I don't know any Blakes. Brooke.
Okay.
Kind of shocking to me that Brooke's going out of style. Let's bring that back. And then Michelle apparently going.
That's really surprising because I know a lot of Michelles.
I know a ton of Michelles. My middle name is like a variation, a different spelling of Michelle. So hurts my feelings. And then boy names going out of style. Julius.
That makes sense.
100%. I feel like everyone has like an Uncle Julius or something. I do know a younger Julius, but he's maybe alone in that one. Jaden. Shocker.
That's a shock. Yeah, I know a lot of Jadens. I know Jalen's all over the place.
Yeah, Johnny.
Okay.
Johnny specifically, of course, there's always variations of John, Jonathan.
I don't think that'll actually phase out because of the nickname, though. Maybe actual legal name, it'll phase out, but nickname, you've got people calling like Johnny Boy. Yeah. Ed does it to John. Yeah, exactly. Literally. So I don't think it'll phase out.
I think Johnny will stay. And then Bradley, like a good Bradley Cooper or
I don't know. I don't know any Bradleys. So.
Brad feels so 90s, 2000s though, I feel.
Because you associate it with the actors.
Yeah, with the actors, feels like 90210 or something. It feels very Cali to me, on your side of the country and all that stuff. People are sharing their stories. Okay, Mary says, my mother told me she was put to sleep when she gave birth to me. I don't know. She doesn't think she knew how to spell it. Mary Jane, not Mary Jane, so Mari. So she's got an interesting story there. So she, I'm forgetting there. Chastity said, my grandma named me after Sunny and Cher, her daughter Chastity, before she ended up changing her name. Selena, my daughter's name is Elena, and my son's name is Remington.
Remington?
What do you nickname for that? Ooh. Like Remy?
Remy's a cool nickname. I like that.
I like that. Maybe that one will grow in popularity. Kelly says her daughter's name is Jetta, like the car. I wonder if that's the inspiration there. Kim says, I am a Kim, not a Kimberly. Love that we made the distinction there because I'm sure you get called Kimberly a lot. When I was born, my mother wanted me to be Kim Sue because I looked Chinese. No, I'm just Kim. She's Kim, straight up. Lori says her father named her Anita. Why is Anita a tough name to live with? Tell us the stories. Bring out all the history.
I hear Anita, and I'm thinking of Anita Baker with "Ring My Bell." Come on, or Anita Ward.
Anita Baker too with the hits.
Yeah.
Chastity's got a little connection with Selena there. Remy, Rem, the nicknames. Anita Kick, okay. Connie says she's not Constance, she's just Connie.
Okay.
I like it. Megan says my mother read my name on the book The Thornburgs 65 years ago. And then Mary says parents wanted to name her Petunia.
Petunia, that's a name.
She says nope. It's so interesting. And there's some that were gaining in popularity. I think for boys, it was like Liam and Oliver. And then for girls, it was, I think, Amelia and Olivia. A lot of the Ias, I feel like. Olivia's always a really popular name.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I get it, Anita. Okay. Anita's saying it sounds like I need a. So I need a new car. So she's like,
that's actually kind of clever. I like that. But I don't know why.
I think it's funny.
I see why she could, because like I need something. I need this.
She's probably rolling her eyes anytime someone's like, "Oh, I need a cup of coffee. I need a second cup."
That meme.
No, I feel you. Kelly says my nephew's name is Wyatt. Howard says my daughter named Kira after Olivia in the movie Xanadu, one of the sister Mews. You guys really got creative with the naming there.
This is the question I have. If you were the opposite sex, what would your parents have named you?
So my name would have been Taylor regardless. My mom came up with my name when she was 15. It's my grandmother's maiden name. So a lot of my cousins have the last name Taylor.
Okay.
And then Taylor's my first name. So regardless, to the pen, sorry. Regardless, my name would have been Taylor either way. So I would have been me, and we're rocking with it. I like my name.
And as I was telling you earlier, so my mom's whole idea of naming us was to make sure that we could say the name in Spanish. So if I was a girl, if I ended up being a girl, I would have been Isabella. So that would have been the name there. So, and then my brother's name is Daniel. And for me, let me tell you all my story for this one. My mom actually got mad at my dad for naming me Adam because she didn't think you could say it in Spanish. And I guess that was a whole argument in the hospital of them going back and forth on why he decided to name me that. And my dad actually was able to come up with a way of me saying it in Spanish, Adan, which is the actual way to say it. My mom just didn't know that was the way. Of course, she had to admit my dad was right, which she doesn't like doing. And now I'm here.
And now you're here, and we're so glad for it. And I feel like our group has a bunch of like kind of evergreen names. Like we're talking about these names that are kind of going in and out of style. And I feel like all of us have names that are pretty standard, like Adam, Taylor, Katie, and Ed.
Diane's a pretty popular name too.
That's my Aunt Diane. Yeah, my Aunt Diane's pulling up here.
Hey, Auntie.
And then we have Aaron. Aaron, pretty popular name. Our producer John. Jordan. Like a lot of people in our crew. Jenna is very I feel like we kind of like struck the middle with the name game here. Oh, solid. Sean says you make a much cuter Adam than an Isabella.
I appreciate that.
That's so funny. Name my daughter Taryn, a mix of Tara and Karen. I like that one. I love when people get creatives. Chastity says she named her daughter Cassidy because people would always mix her name up with that. So something you hear all the time. It probably annoyed you, and then you kind of moved it around. I like that. Justin, he went simple. Justinio? Is that how you would say it in Spanish? I don't know. What would that be? Oh, I thought I was looking at that differently, but Justinio. I wonder what that is. Like Justinio with the translation. The J probably wouldn't get pronounced right in Spanish. Maybe. I don't know if that's Spanish. I don't know if he's going with Spanish. I'm not sure. I'm just looking. Let's see. Damaris, not Demaris. You got to tell us how to pronounce it so we don't pronounce it wrong. Not what were your parents thinking. Don't drag your parents like that. Maybe they had a little inspiration. I think your name is unique, and I love a unique and creative name. Kristen says my oldest names are second. She thought it was a girl, and her name was going to be Isabella. We liked it, so we went with it. There you go. And you love it, and you had when your siblings name each other. That's really awesome. Now, you said if you were to have kids, and when you do have kids, right now, you have no clue. That's what you were telling me. I feel like all of my friends have like a list in their phone of like baby names. Like, what am I going to name my kid and all that stuff. I have never known, and I've never like had a list. I've never had any ideas. I've never been like, there are names that are nice, of course, that I like feel like would work. I want kids eventually, so I feel like I should have that list, but I just like, I don't know. I never met them. Like, I don't know. I got to sense the vibe. Like, who am I meeting here before I'm like throwing a name on this kid? Yeah, who are you with? How's the family dynamic going to be? That's a good point. I've never had it down with who I want to name my son, but I'm huge on, I've always thought if I have kids, if I have a daughter, I want to be a girl dad. Bottom line, I want to be a girl dad because I want to raise my daughter to play basketball. I want to give her a quinceañera and all that. So I've always had the thought about my girl. So I came up with the Leia. I don't know how,
but I just think that's a pretty name. And then her middle name, I'm going to give her my mom's name in Spanish. My mom's name is Ernestine. She goes by Tina, but her name is Ernestine, but in Spanish, it's Ernestina. So it'd be Leia Ernestina
Cute.
Campos.
I love a good family connection. And we got some pronunciations. So it's Damaris, I believe,
Damaris.
Which is awesome. And then Justin say Justino would be the Spanish pronunciation.
Got it.
And then Anita shouting you out. She says she likes that, Adam. So she's on board.
She's on
for your
board with
names
it. Thank you.
for all of that stuff. So I love it. Keep sending your names and what you think about those getting out of style. But we're gonna switch a little bit to talking about money, which can sometimes be a sore subject. But we were talking earlier this morning around 5 a.m. about payment apps. So do you use like a Zelle or Venmo or Cash App to, if you're out to dinner and somebody foots the bill and paying people back and all that good stuff? Some people don't. A lot of people this morning were like, I can't touch that stuff. I don't trust it because there's so many scams out there.
It is really easy to get scammed with any of those apps. And even then, sometimes, like I was telling you about my experience with Venmo, I didn't even do any transaction. And all of a sudden I had all this money taken out of my account because I had money sitting in Venmo and I had to fight it for like 2 weeks. So it's tricky. Like the convenience of it is great, but also that trust of it, sometimes it's not there.
I mean, I remember, I guess it first popped up like when I was in college and it was so convenient. You and your friends, you got it like a Domino's pizza or something and somebody paid and then you just, send them a good Venmo and all that stuff. But I know so many people who have been caught up or have been like investigated by Venmo for sending like payments that are too large. It was kind of like a no man's land for a little bit, right? You could just send your money and then it's gone,
Well, and also for a while, I know with Venmo, they finally cracked down on people getting transfers for like services they provided. So like hair, like barbers, that's a huge thing. A lot of barbers, especially if they're not cutting at a barbershop, they'll be cutting in their garage. They'll take payment through Venmo, and they caught on to that, and they're like, "Nope, you got to file for that. You can't do that." So
paying like their rent and things like that. So there's an effort now to cut back on scams. A downstate district attorney is trying to have those apps put in more protections to protect you and your money. They want to do like 2-factor authentication and things like that and put a cap on like how much money you can spend. Some people say they use it. So Kelly's saying she uses Zelle and Cash App. Anita uses Venmo, Cash App, PayPal. Carol says she's never used it though. Barbara is in the same boat. She's old school. Pay back, cash or check. I cannot tell you the last time I had cash. I never carry cash.
I rarely carry cash too. And also to my checkbooks, back at home, I have them. I don't need to write them most of the time because you're just sending it to people. I haven't had any major purchases like that where I would need a paper trail.
Yeah.
But eventually, like obviously with rent and stuff like that, I'd much rather write a paper check than to have do that through Zelle or Venmo. I know it keeps the online transaction, but if you have it on paper, that's a lot better if any situation actually comes about.
Absolutely. Anita says, I had an attempt of a scam via Zelle. Anita, give us the tea. What happened there? And did you get your money back? I hope that you did. Jeanette says, isn't it true that Zelle only works with M&T Bank? My coworker just told me that. Well, I have Chase Bank.
I have Chase and it works with Wells Fargo.
I think that's what Zelle's a little different. So like whereas Cash App and Venmo use your like routing number to access your account. And obviously Zelle does the same thing, but you can send it straight from your account and it'll take it straight out and you don't have to worry about, going from bank to bank and all that stuff.
And you don't have to pay a transfer fee as well. Venmo and Cash App, you usually have to pay a small portion of whatever that money you're sending.
Peter says, does anyone use traveler's checks? You're going to have to tell me what that is.
What is a traveler's check?
I know.
That's aging us, definitely.
Went over our heads a little bit. But yeah, tell us a little about it. So Anita's here telling us a story. I was selling something in Marketplace and then tried to convince me to open a Zelle account and send them money so they could send her money. And that's how a lot of people do it. They convince you to send them this money over Venmo or Zelle. And then when that money is gone, it is gone. So it's like, it can be really, really scary to do any of these things.
Now, that's my question. Like, how are people, obviously, like checks and cash are easiest, but say like in my situation where I'm all the way across the country from my mom, if you have a kid or a family member that's all the way across the country, if you want to get them some money, how are you getting them money if you don't use any of the apps? So if anybody wants to chime in on that, I'd be curious just to see.
Yeah, I mean, I was saying earlier, like my Nana, so generous. Shout out Elaine. She, birthday or, just special occasion or Christmas, she sends cash apps all the time. That's what she did. My grandfather now, he'll, hand you a crisp 20 under the table or something
there,
like
boom.
That. But, I think it's interesting and we just always have to be as careful as possible. It's so fun and easy to have like convenience of a Venmo or something like that, but we got to just make sure we are keeping safe.
Well, and it's good that they're having these extra precautions putting into place. Like as much as a pain two-factor authentication is, it's like that's the necessary steps that need to be taken to be sure your money is protected.
My friend Justino says too many scams and not enough educated consumers.
That's what I was saying earlier. Because Venmo, you have to Venmo, Zelle, you have to type in the last 4 of the person's phone number, and you could just skip that and send it. But I'm like, if you're sending it to somebody that you've never sent before, wouldn't you want to put it in to protect yourself? Because what if you just type in the wrong number, or what if you don't do it and you had the wrong person?
Yeah.
What are you supposed to do there? That's kind of your fault.
Exactly. Jeanette says go with the tried and true, like a Western Union. Best for people who don't want to use the apps. And it's been around forever. So, I mean, if you just want to make sure that you're safe and you're good to go, use something like that. Danielle says, I love it. It's different. Was actually on my baby list. She's going back to the baby names, talking about some of the other different ones that we have. But Mellie's chiming in here. She says work was kicking her butt this morning, so she's just coming in. But she says Cass Creek is super high. So we can talk a little bit about the flooding and the ice jams and all the stuff that we're seeing. Obviously, it's much warmer today than it's been in the past. I think it's like maybe high 30s or 40s for the next couple of days, which is like completely wild.
I'll gladly take it, but it is going to be a mess. But I mean, you have the flood, you have possible flooding here. Yeah. You've had flooding all over the country. I mean, the weather patterns everywhere have just been insane.
Good Morning America had some crazy video earlier of a gas station, like the overhang thing, just completely flowing through with all of the snow that was on it and the water coming through. Here's your 7-day forecast here. We got 42, 45 for Friday. It's a heat wave, baby. Like I'm busting out the shorts for Friday, even though it's going to be raining. And then we go back to that fog. And then Sunday, back to reality, dealing with more snow here. Yeah, Melly says it's a mess. We've had these foggy, gloomy, out of a movie looking mornings where we've just been dealing with this weirder kind of weather, but definitely the city of Buffalo is putting out warnings. If you have any valuables in low-lying parts of your home, make sure you move them. If you got those sump pumps, make sure you get them going like Kim has. A lot of people are going to be possibly dealing with that flooding.
What is a sub pump?
It's a thingy that gets the water, like dries out your basement.
I never lived in a flood zone.
I've never had a home, so if anything's wrong with my house, I would just call my landlord. But it gets the water out when you have flooding like situations. Anita says 33 inbound is a mess right now, not used to traveling at this time. Yeah, Aaron was tracking an accident that was on the 290 this morning. The roads have been so slick. I mean, my windshield wipers have been working overtime.
This is for the last 2 or 3 weeks, honestly, it feels like.
Yeah. I mean, we've just been going through it here. Peter says snow last week, rain and fog this week. Next week, why not have a typhoon? You know, we just break records everywhere.
Let's hope we don't. I'd rather not even speak that into.
Keep the heat wave going, Peter.
Yeah.
You know, Justin says the mid-January melt helping with the ice issues, also helping with the water tables. But yeah, absolutely. But we were talking to some people, Jeff Russo in the West Seneca area, and they were struggling.
Well, because of how much snow they had fall, all of that now falling through. I mean, we're melting. It's wild.
It weighs so much on your roof. The gutters are broken down there. The crews, they've got like more than 20, giant mechanical vehicles out there handling all that melting snow because it has to go somewhere, right? So, a ton of that snow is going to be melting everywhere. We actually have our crews going out to check out a couple different areas. I know some parts near Route 5 are going to be flooding. So yeah, definitely slow go and be careful out there in the South towns as far as flooding goes, because there's just always something to deal with, right? Like it's just so rare that we just have a clear, sunny day. Like when's the last time we've even seen the sun?
It's been a while. It's been like actually clear for the whole day. It has been a while.
Whole day, it's been a while.
Yeah.
We had a couple breaks Sunday before we had that giant cloud fall over us all night long.
So Linda explained it. It's a sub pump sits in a hole in the basement and pumps out any water that gets too high.
I tried to say.
So fun fact, I've never been in a house with a basement. Basements are not a thing in the Bay Area in California.
Why?
I didn't see a basement really until I got over here.
You don't have basements?
I don't know many people that live with a basement. So that's new to me.
Why not?
We just don't.
Where do you put stuff?
Attic.
Interesting. I didn't know that like wasn't a thing.
It's not. I know some places have them back home, but it's not the most popular thing. So that's why I wouldn't know what a sub pump is. So thank you for educating me, Linda.
I know nothing about anything, so that's why I didn't know. Danielle says we're in West Seneca, got 6 feet, and her backyard looks like a muddy tsunami. Ugh. Send us a picture of what that looks like. We're going to be checking out some of those areas today. Anita says snow equals the stuff that no one wants. Megan says, okay, no basements in California because of earthquakes.
Like I said, I don't know if that would make sense though. Maybe. Yeah. Because I know there's some place. I have been into one house with a basement, but it's just not common. Let me say that. It's not common. It's not that there's none at all. It's just not common at all. So it could be because of earthquakes. If you might know better than me, honestly, I'm not quite sure why. So.
No idea. But yeah, a lot of people are going to be dealing with putting those sump pumps to work. We did get an email like on Route 5, flooding Route 5 west from Bennett Road to Gold Street in Evans. Right lane is closed there. So I can only imagine what they're dealing with down there. Their disaster management is continuing to monitor Big Sister Creek. And then like Kaz Creek was having that issue last night with the ice jam. When can we get a break? You know? I
don't think we're going to get a break anytime soon. Hopefully this little I guess you could say this warm up is our break, but even then now you're dealing with the melting.
Yeah, and the fog and the visibility. I mean, the visibility was very, very low in some places. I mean, you really had to take it slow driving in some of the southern parts of Western New York. It's a lot. Oh, Robert's testing you here. Do you know about Salem's hot dogs?
No.
You never had Salem's hot dogs?
No.
Oh my gosh, we have to get you to a Bison's game. That'll be our break. Once we finally get to baseball season and get you.
Oh, like Salem Field, like
yeah.
Oh, that's what is that? What that is?
Did
not know that. Okay.
Look at this. It's an educational second cup here today.
Love it. I always learn something new on Second Cup. So I appreciate y'all for teaching me the ways of Western New York.
Danielle, it's feeling like summer for her. She was wearing sandals with leggings at the bus stop this morning. Now I haven't had a pedicure. So long. Like this is the winter time.
The dogs don't need to be coming out right now.
I need to be out, so I can do the shorts, but I'm gonna have to keep the sneakers on because it's looking a little rough. Anita says we got you, so you're gonna get some nice Salem hot dogs come spring.
Sounds good. I'm looking forward to it. I always like food, so any food recommendations y'all got, I will always take them.
Yeah, Peter says time for muddy paw warnings with melting snow and muddy lawns. I know that I am not excited at all to have my dog walking through my house and on my white rug after I take her outside.
We were watching Bandit, Hannah and I, Hannah Ferreira, one of our other reporters here at the station. We were watching Katie's dog, Bandit, and every time he would come in from the snow, we have to wipe off his paws because he was just trekking through it like it was nothing. I'm sitting there trying to walk and he's a big boy, yeah, so he's trekking a lot.
To have to clean up. Oh my gosh. Okay, so now the idea is we have to get you the Salem hot dog, right?
Okay.
And at Salem Field, we should have a second cup night at the ball game.
There we go.
All the cuppies, we can get a section together. We can hang out. And we can watch the game. We'll get on the Jumbotron. We can watch the blue cheese race in the little chicken wing race in the mascot race. Sounds fun.
There we go.
Peter says we teach Adam about Western New York and Adam teaches us about California.
Goes hand in hand.
An exchange.
There we go.
Paula says you need to cover the Taste of Buffalo this summer.
That'll be fun. Restaurant week is always fun because I get an excuse to go eat food this early in the morning. I went to a soul food restaurant in Tonawanda. That was really good. Mama's Heart and Soul. I think I can't remember. I will drop it in for you guys though one of these days so you guys can try them out. They're really good. It's a mom and pop shop. Go check them out.
That's fun. Kim says where are you from? Adam's from the Bay Area.
Bay Area. Close to San Francisco, Oakland, Berkeley.
Yeah. Robert says you should go to Ted's and get one, but maybe we'll save it for our big night out at Salem Field. And Linda wants to know if you've had horseradish yet.
Oh God, I remember that conversation. I have not here at least. I've had. I think they told me about that with you and James when they had it. I haven't had that yet, so we're gonna see if they make me do it. I'm gonna try to finesse my way out of it.
Yeah, we're coming to that season where everyone's going to be heading down to the Broadway market, and you got to go down there, and you got to get their very famous horseradish that they have down
there. And that's what they
were
were telling me about.
And that's how I almost lost my life a couple years ago.
Brave soldier. Look at you.
I don't partake in that anymore, but we'll pass the buck off.
I was going to say you're passing it down to me.
Peter says it's a brilliant idea to get out the ballpark, get out in the Broadway market, have horseradish, or Peter's being willing to be our victim for the horseradish. Linda, our girl, always keeping us on task though. She says, don't you need to get back on TV? I love that the Cuppies are so tuned in, always down for a good time, always down to teach each other stuff,
right?
And have a good conversation. So thank you so much for letting us come hang out on a day where Ed and Katie are off. We'll be hanging out with you again tomorrow, so don't miss the conversation. Hope you have a good day today. Watch out for that fog. Watch out for that flooding. Stay dry if you can. And we will see you back here tomorrow.
See you guys.
See you guys.